Lectures, we will be looking back in history at the forefathers of street photography, such as Eugene Auger. Although Auger documented the streets of Paris, traveling across the world is not required to make successful photography. You may interact with, yet not notice the urban landscapes that are closest to your home on a daily basis, and this is exactly what makes it an ideal subject. The incredible thing about Auger's work is how self-driven he was. On a nearly daily basis, he rode the bus around Paris, lugging his large format wooden camera, which with the tripod weighed over 40 pounds. He made it his life's mission to document every facet of Paris over a 20-year span. Sometimes we get so familiar with a place that we forget its artistic merit, so I encourage you to see your local area through the eyes of a stranger, just as Auger did. Another historical photographer, Henri Cartier-Bresson, also captured the streets of the ever-changing Paris. Exploring close to home can reduce the stress of photographing in an unfamiliar location and allows other locals to get to know you, while observing physical distancing, of course. We will also spend some time focusing on street photographers, looking at the chance encounters and random incidents within public places that they have captured. Gary Winogrand, a central photographer of his generation, depicts such a moment in Hollywood Boulevard. It is an extraordinary image, as is the plays of shadows and reflections. The tilt of the camera, a signature Winogrand device, emphasizing the fleetingness of elements of the occasion. Lee Friedlander, often featuring candid portraits of people, signs, and reflections of himself in storefront windows, captures the unexpected overlaps of light and content in the urban landscape. And Fred Herzog, a German-born photographer, made his mark on the world by documenting the streets of Vancouver and Western Canada. Just as many of the artists that we will be focusing on during the lectures have, students will work towards one cohesive body of work, consisting of 8 to 10 photographs by the end of the course. There will also be weekly assignments given, and we will begin each class with a critique of the previous week's assignment. For example, during week 3, we will be looking at photographers that partook in the new topographics exhibition, such as Robert Adams, and an assignment will be given to shoot in the style of the new topographers. At its core, the new topographics challenged traditional landscape photographic images, such as those of Ansel Adams, with a new photographic environmentalism to highlight the presence of humanity in nature. For example, these photographs were made by John Schott in the summer of 1973 as he drove Route 66 from the Midwest in California and back, sleeping in his pickup truck. And here we see one of Stephen Shore's tract houses, which is seemingly constructed in the middle of nowhere. During week 4, we will study the Dusseldorf School of Photography, which refers to a group of photographers that studied at the school in the mid-1970s under the influential photographers Bernd and Hilaire Becker. Known for their rigorous devotion to the 1920s German tradition of new objectivity, and also members that took part in the new topographics exhibition, the Beckers' photographs were clear, black and white pictures of industrial landscapes. Many of the artists, such as Andreas Gursky, that studied under the Beckers, focused on large, anonymous, man-made structures, such as this image, which is 99 cents, and inside of a grocery store. Candida Hofer is best known for taking large format architectural wonders. This particular series is a body of work that focused on theaters and opera houses from around the world. We will complete the course by looking at conceptual artists, such as those of the Vancouver School of Conceptual Photography. Jeff Wall is a Canadian artist and was a key player in the movement. He is best known for works that involve constructing elaborate scenes with hired actors, which he then photographed and displayed in large-scale wall-mounted light boxes. Vicki Alexander is another one of Vancouver's most acclaimed artists. In a series she worked on later on in her career, she visited the world's capitals and took her own pictures of the different showrooms. In this image, Paris showroom's gold torso, the focus is on the gleaming furniture as seen in a window display, but look more closely and you'll see reflections of the street. And finally, Roy Arden, who in a series titled Fragments, created details of urban texture in Vancouver, Paris, Geneva, and Berlin. Along with the lectures and photo assignments, I've also compiled a number of relevant films for students to watch each week, which will give some added context to all of the assignments.